Guys, I've got a motorcycle. All right, today's gonna be the first day working on this Honda Shadow bobber build. So right now it is a 2007 Honda Shadow 750 and it is the Aero. The Aero package comes with these really overhung fenders, both front and rear. It's supposed to make it aerodynamic and faster. I want to say they claim that it goes like 7 miles an hour faster, but they also claim this thing tops out at 96. According to GPS, this thing tops out at 82. So they're a little off in that calculation, but I also know that the speedometers generally are a little bit off. We currently have 6,262 miles on this bike, but that said, the speed sensor is out, and this the speedometer itself, I don't know if you can tell, but that's the pin. And so when you start this thing up, well, when you start it up, it doesn't go higher than that pin. You can rev it out, whatever, but it does not pass that pin. But as you heard, it starts right up. I have had to do a little bit of work. The fuel lines were all broken, brittle, had been left outside. Overall, I feel like the bike hasn't been super well maintained. I'm like the third or fourth owner, and I feel like most of these people just left it outside. It has been laid over. You can see the where they've bondoed it. But also, I want to take note that when you look under there, there is no prep work done when they bondoed and repainted this. All the major parts have been repainted. Frame is still factory, and I mean, everything looks okay, but they said that they did lay it over once on a gravel road, and once he said he was at like a stop sign coming up the hill and just lost control of it, and just he said he was at a complete dead stop, but he just like couldn't get his footing and laid it on its side. Then my stupid self, when I was working on it, I had to pull the tank off and I dropped it. And so we now have this as well that we're dealing with. The tank is all kinds of rusted inside, so I do want to change something up. I'm thinking about going just with another factory OEM style because I love this. I love how wide this is in front of me. I've tried to like the little peanut tanks, but my current plan with this, I do not want to make it a hardtail. Most of you guys do a hardtail. I need to be able to drive this to and from school, and where I'm currently living is 3 hours away from school. So I would like to be able to drive this for 3 hours on the highway and still have a back at the end of the day. So my current plan is to change out the front and rear fenders, possibly lower it a little bit. I've thought about a 2-inch lowering kit, but I don't know if I want to do that. Leave in the comments what you think I should do, but I want to take all of these chrome pieces off. I definitely need to do a little work on the motor itself just to make it look better. You can see right now there's discoloration. That is from a huge gas leak that they let, they drove this with a gas leak for as long as the previous owner had it. And so I fixed the gas leak and it seems to be doing a lot better. What it was, the petcock was messed up. The fuel lines were all degraded and old. It's from 07 and it sat outside, so of course they were dry rotted. But I haven't noticed any gas leak driving around these past few days, but you can still see just where gas has been basically burned off of this cylinder head, and even the jug a little bit. You can see all just the discoloration there. So I want to clean that up, make it pretty, possibly black out the engine. I definitely want to get rid of these chrome pieces because they're all kinds of broken and scratched up. You can see where the gas has done a number on like the little fake chrome overlay that they had on these. For right now, I'm thinking just pull the rear section of this seat off, pull the little sissy bar off, and pull both the saddlebags off. They are basically brand new, but when they tied these things in, I've tried to fix them, but they tied all 4 of these wires together. And I don't know if he just didn't know what he was doing, didn't know, like, I don't know, that you can't just cross wires and pray they work. But all 4 of these wires were just, like, tied together in one big, like, clip-on thing. So I actually, like, took these apart and soldered them, but they still don't work. I can get one side to work or the other. It's purely dependent on under the seat, the where it comes out of, like, the controller module or the relay. It depends on which side is plugged in. It's not dependent on the lights. So it's some part of the factory harness has been messed up, and so I need to, like, take apart that and dive into why I don't have turn signals. This turn signal works fine. This one doesn't. When they laid it over, they broke it, and one of the wires is cut in there. I've already diagnosed that. Then I traded out this headlight, just a Amazon special. Then on this side, I am not quite sure if I want to keep this exhaust. Like you heard, it sounds amazing, but it's kind of long for a bobber build. And so I've thought about even just cutting it here, but I would like to restabilize it so it's not just jittering all over the place. But so I need to figure out what I want to do with the exhaust. Make this a black piece. I believe that the Shadow Phantoms already have that, so Honda has a part for that I would be able to switch over. The shocks, I mean, I feel like leaving the shocks would be okay, because I don't want to just do some kind of crappy job on the pipes themselves and, like, make them black, but it just be like a spray paint that I found at AutoZone or wherever that's heat resistant, because that stuff all fades off. You've seen it time and time again where everybody does it and it never works. I don't want to buy new wheels, but I'm considering what I want to do with those. I've seen somebody that painted the rims black front and rear, but he had spoked wheels on the front and a solid wheel on the back. I have spoked front and rear, and his was on a chain drive. Mine is a direct drive, and so I don't know how finicky everything is. So I need to figure out that, and I don't want to paint over the actual direct drive housing. So I feel like leaving the forks chrome, black out the taillights. I'll have to add taillights on the back, or not taillights, turn signals, and then having a custom painted front and rear fender that I'm gonna have to have done, or I'll do it myself, but I'll have to buy one. And then, of course, I need tires. So that's the rundown of what I would like to do to this build. Let's go ahead and jump on it and start getting some of these parts off. All right, so I've got it pulled in here. If you've watched my channel for a while, you know I am not at home. This is my parents' house, so I'm going to be having very limited tools. I have some of my stuff down here, but not very much. So we're gonna get done whatever we can, and then just kind of whatever we don't get done here, I'll have to finish up when I get up to Fayetteville. So let's go ahead and jump into it. I think the first thing I'm gonna do is go ahead and pull this seat off, make everything a little bit easier on me. And then I'm either gonna pull off the sissy bar or these side things.
back of that seat off.
So that was a 10 mil, and that still leaves this little bracket on, so I can still mount this just like I would have before, right to the frame, just like that. All right, for this part, I'm gonna show you exactly what I'm gonna do. So this bolt is what I feel like actually came on. This looks like it was added. You see this is still got like a chrome and it's kind of rusty. This is actually like a stainless. It looks like it's come from like Lowe's or something. But so the chrome one is 9/16, and this one fits 11/16 pretty well. So I'm gonna go ahead and just pull the sissy bar off, and I'm thinking that the bags will come with it. I'm not positive on that, but if it does, that'll make it a little easier to get something on the back of that. Then I can impact it off or whatever. You see my stockpile of random tools that are not organized at all. I love it. I just wanted to say, my dad told me he would never buy an impact because he didn't have any need for it. And I guess I talked him into it. So he's got a nice little DeWalt. I'm more of a Milwaukee guy, but you know what? It's going to speed it up because I don't have the full 1/2-inch socket. Mine's a 3/8. So I'm going to do the 11/16 first. Take off the 2 bolts that I don't feel like are factory. So line this. Okay, there is one. This one right here. That felt like it was barely in at all. Okay. Grab this other side. Good. Go ahead and flip around, do the other side just like that. I've already got the 9/16 on there, so I'm going to do this chrome bolt. That's the first one to have a washer. That was barely on at all. Grab this last one. Okay. Let's see. There goes sissy bar. And there you go. That was just pinched on there. I'm gonna cut these wires, and then these, both sides on the saddlebags will be free, as well as this rear fender. Do I want to keep that for right now? It's got my brake light. Yes, I don't want to be rear-ended. So that could have been why it didn't work. This wasn't plugged in at all. This side was, and it didn't work. So the blue side did not function at all either. So, but that's the part of the factory wiring harness. I'll just throw that there. But yeah, probably need to trace these wires out and see to what point they work, because there is some point in this line that I'm assuming, based on him crossing it, I'm assuming that it's completely melted and that the fuse failed, because I've replaced the fuse, I know that, and that didn't help it. So just got to figure out where it lies on that. So while it's sitting like this, I'm going to go ahead and pull this rear fender off, because all it's going to take is me unplugging this little white clip right here, and then it should just come right off. Yeah, that didn't break, so I'm just going to lift it off and see. That way we get to look at, that tire's in a lot better condition than I thought it would be. Golly. Okay. So that one might actually be all right. I may only have to replace the front, at least for right now. The front one, I will say, is pretty shot. But while it's like this, we can kind of see where we're going to be cutting, where we want the fender, how far back we want it to be, and just some basics of it. But honestly, once I get this front fender off, I'm going to whip it around the neighborhood and see what it feels like. It's not going to handle much different because I mean, everything I took off was plastic, so it's not like it weighted the back down. But I feel like it'll look different just having this. Look how massive this rear fender is. That's huge. That's giant. Why does it have to be that big? It's not, like, let's be honest. If it weighs probably 25, 30 pounds, it's not aerodynamic. You're not getting any extra speed. You might be a little bit, I don't know. You might be able to angle the wind a little bit, but when you're adding this much weight to your bike, it's not going to go faster. It's not going to, it looks terrible. So I don't know why they've done this, but anyway, this is what it looks like with it off. And yeah, I guess we're going to hop into that front fender now. I'm not going to lie, I dig it. That rear tire's in a lot better shape than I thought it was too. I'll have to put a penny up to it, but like, that's got decent tread depth on it. Still got cobwebs all over it, and I need to wash it overall, but this isn't bad looking. I like that a lot better already. I just have to do something with, I do need a fender for, I am dumb and end up riding when it rains. But jumping up here to the front, this, I want to show you how, like, a normal fender goes. It doesn't have this whole side piece. This is all not here. And it goes from, like, here to, like, here. Look how giant and massive that is. And it's got this big, ugly, like, swoop back to it. I hate this. I know that there's going to be some classic guy that absolutely rocks my world for that. And it's like, you're an absolute idiot. This is the best looking bike ever. But I'm hoping that Honda guys aren't like Harley guys. I know that Harley guys are diehard. Like, Harley is the absolute best thing. And I can't argue with it because I haven't had a Harley. I have not tried to own or maintain a Harley. But I will tell you that Honda is a reliable bike, but they did not style this well, in my opinion. But the only thing I'm thinking I'm going to run into, the brace. I don't know if I have to keep that brace because the way these plastic fenders mount on this, there's a metal brace underneath it. And not only, I don't know if that keeps the distance for the forks. I know that there's also the axle at the bottom that will keep the distance, but I don't know if, like, it'll be more prone to, like, bending in, especially under load or whatever. So I need to check that. And I also, the brake caliper mounts to that bracket. So I need to figure out if I can do it without that. If I have to pull the whole tire off to get this off, or to get the brake caliper and whatever off. I'm not sure. I think I can do it without pulling the tire, but I am not sure. So I guess bear with me here for a second. Now, so to do this, there are Allen bolts, these Allen heads, and I believe that they are 3/16. So I'm going to go ahead and start working on these. Alright, so now what I'm going to do, I feel like the best way to go about this is to pull it straight up and then try to work it down that way. Oh yeah, that was so much easier than I thought it'd be. Okay. Yeah, okay. So the next step is going to be deciding whether or not I have to keep this brace. It's not as big as I thought it was going to be. It also doesn't provide near the support that I thought it would, but there was nothing bolting this. Like, there's a screw hole here in this that I'll show you here in a second, but it wasn't bolted to this. It was just like perched on it. So I feel like if I change the fender at all, this is going to go away. But yeah, so here's, that's the next step of this. Here's that screw hole I was talking about. Like, it looks like there'd be a screw there. There's not threads, But you would think like a screw would come to the bottom and fixate itself somewhere on that, but it doesn't. So here's the bike without fenders at all. I'm about to have to order a set of, I'm wanting to do metal fenders. I'm not wanting to go back with plastic. I know this is just, it's plastic, but what I'm probably going to do is sell these, and whatever I make from that, I'll put back into the bike. Same thing with the saddlebags. I feel like if nothing else, that'd buy me, like, I don't know, black airbox cover or something. I don't know how much these are worth. Came on the bike, so. But yeah, let's whip it around like this for a second. See how it does. See how it feels. I mean, felt no different. I guess that's expected, but felt cooler. So, I mean, I guess that's really all you can ask for. Next thing I'm going to do, I think I'm going to go ahead and remove, I don't know. I'm going to leave the front turn signals on for now. I don't know, it's kind of ugly. I might pull them. I'm having to do hand signals anyway because I don't have rears. But, at least for now, I'm definitely gonna have to throw some sort of rear brake light on, because I can't, like, every time I try to stop, I'm not gonna be like fist in the air, like stop. I don't know, like how would I motion that while also trying to tell them like when I'm turning? I don't feel like it'd work. That's a dumb idea. Don't do that. So I need to figure out a brake light with this setup. I need to figure out if I need to completely change that tank or if I can just reseal it and paint it. That's the other option. But I've had two guys offer me tanks for $50, so that'd be less dense, and I'd just have to deal with like outside surface rust, not inside, I think. I don't know. The other thing about this tank is I know what's wrong with it, so it's like, why jump to something where you don't know what the issue would be? So I don't know. But yeah, here's the bike so far. So, I mean, the rear tire actually looks okay now that I get that fender off of it, but front tire definitely has got to go. I'm going to look up real quick whether or not I need to replace that, and then I'm going to pull these. I'm signaling anyway. Most states I don't even think require that you have a front turn signals, so why bother with them? Next thing I'm going to work on is probably going to be chrome delete. I don't think I'm going to replace the speedometer. I use this little phone mount I've got for my speedometer, so this I'll probably just leave it as is. I might look around for a black outside housing in that, or even just sand this down and repaint it. But I think this is super ugly. I'm not going to lie. I think it looks like there's gas spilled all over it from probably gas spilling all over it. And I think that it doesn't look good. So I'm either going to completely take that off, or I'm going to repaint it and do some sort of coating that'll hold up to gas. Does that exist? I don't know. I don't know how I feel about like this. Like, this is a different silver than anything else on this entire bike. These two, like the lights, turn signals, horn, and then start, and then kill switch, that is a different color than anything else on this bike. Even this, like, that is, yes, that is a brushed color. That's not even brushed. Like, this, you can see, like, it looks like it was milled. Like, it looks like this was just cut, solid piece, so you know it's going to be like a good, heavy-duty mount. This looks like crap. This looks like some Chinese, I'm not going to be racist. This looks like somebody just threw this together and they're like, whatever color it ends up, but why bother making it look nice? The handlebars themselves, a lot of people have told me, like, why don't you bring them closer? They're too close. Why don't you push them far away? Why don't you lift them? This is where my hand naturally sits. I feel like with this foot peg position, these are mid controls, I believe. I could push them out to 4, but I don't like the feeling of being stretched out and like leaning back or whatever. I like being a little bit hunched over the bike. I can still stand straight up. Like I feel like 90 degrees-ish. I don't know. But I feel like that's good. Like, I like my leg being like that. So I don't think I'm going to switch those around. But I don't know. I may go with the Phantom, the Phantom bars like this. They are the same setup, but they are black. And I feel like that would look good. But honestly, like, crappy looking chrome I have a problem with, but if the chrome looks like it's in good condition, and once I cut whatever this electrical tape mess is off, I think that this is going to look good. And right now I've just got these really crappy, they don't work well at all, but these mirrors, they look kind of cool, but they're chrome. They had a black version, but at this point in the build, the theme is black and chrome, and I mean, I guess orange accents with the turn signals, but I'm about to get black turn signals. I'm going to leave the side markers. Most people take them off. I realize that, but I do want to have some sort of marker because at the end of the day, I want to look good, but at the same time, I'm not trying to die just yet. Not this way. If I'm going to die, I don't want it to be this gruesome, painful death of a motorcycle accident. So I am going to leave side markers on. Y'all are going to disagree. I already know. But that's my thought and my reasoning. So, but leaving shocks, leaving suspension, I want to leave that seat. Either that or I want to get a Mustang seat. That I don't mind the big fat seat. I do not like the Springer seats. And just like I don't like the peanut tank. No, I guess technically it's not a bobber. It's just it's a motorcycle without fenders, but this is my build, and this is how I want to do it. So if anybody else has ever wondered, like, hey, I want a bobber that I can still be able to ride, that's not a $13,000 Indian, then here's kind of the way I'm doing it. I'm debating on whether or not to just sell that seat setup and the sissy bar, or have it as like a backup, because I have had girls ask me to ride on it and stuff, so I almost feel like I want to leave it for that, but at the same time, I think it looks so much better without, and it would look even better if I cut this at an angle here. Got all the stuff to do that, but with that, I could also take off these, if that's going to be easy. I could just do this right now and at least clean it up a little bit, make it look better. But people have ridden as passengers on this with previous owners, and their feet hit the tailpipe. It's not great. You're burning a $150 set of boots. So, I don't know. I have opinions on things that most people are going to disagree with. But this is the build so far. And appreciate you following along. If you want to see more of this thing and how we're going to get it completely up and going, completely looking exactly how I like, be sure to hit that follow button, and I'll keep you updated on this thing. We have so many projects going right now. We have this thing. We have the four-wheeler we're about to do a little bit too. We have the Jeep. That needs a lot of work to it. So we have so many different projects right now. So if you want to keep updated on all these, be sure to hit the subscribe button, and right next to it, hit that little notification marker. It helps me out a ton with engagement, and I really appreciate it when you guys do that. So, all right, so I'm going to use a 12 millimeter to get this. I'm going to call it a T-bar, as well as the factory headlight mounting. The aftermarket one, I took these chrome things off. What you have to do for that, there's 4 bolts, and then you loosen the pinch nuts on both sides, top and bottom, and you drop the forks down, just slide it out. and I took tops and bottoms down. It used to cover this as well as this. It looks so much better without it, in my opinion. But so that's how I mounted the aftermarket one. And I'm gonna go ahead and pull just the factory one off to get rid of that little bit of excess clutter. Okay, there's a nut on the bottom. Mine came loose by itself, but yours may not. This side's been off. The washer's pinched. It's not on it. Okay, that side came off too. Yeah, they definitely tried to fix this light. Just never got around to it, I guess. But just these two bolts. Out it comes. Unplug. It's gonna be blue and orange. Unplug those. Golly. It's the hardest part so far. There you go. Okay. Headlight mount just fell. Oh, that's broken. Okay. Yeah. Well, yeah. The mounting harness on that was broken off, so that wouldn't have fit right if it wanted to. All right. I'm gonna just tuck the little blue and orange things into my headlight. I've got a little space back there. Clean that little area up a little bit. Make it look all shiny or whatever. Make it look good. But that's all it is to it. That was really easy, honestly. I'm gonna leave this little fender tab here until I can get an actual fender, and just go from there. It looks like I could take off this mount and leave the bracket, and so I guess when I get a new front fender, I'll just replace this thing as well as the fender itself. So I'll replace the bracket with the fender. But yeah, so here it goes. Here's the build so far. I hope you enjoyed watching. If you have any suggestions for what I should do to this thing, or any suggestions about the tank or the chrome or anything like that, shoot me a comment. I enjoy interacting with you guys, so hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to like and subscribe and hit that little notification bell, and you'll get all the updates on this bike, as well as the Jeep and the four-wheeler and the truck as I'm progressing through those builds. But hope you enjoyed the video and have a great day.